Welcome to this week's episode of It's the Power Life podcast. I'm your host, Craig Mundell, and today we have a very special guest with us, Hayley Dennyson. Our conversation today is all about her incredible journey to finding freedom. Hayley's journey is nothing short of inspiring. She started her career as a journalist, making her mark in the world of magazines, including Garden and Home in South Africa and Women and Home in the UK. But her story takes a unique turn as she returns to her roots in South Africa, where she took on the role of editor for a local gem, the Crest. Today, she holds the position of marketing and communications manager at a private school. Join us as we unpack the challenges that she's overcome and the lessons she's learned along the way. Her journey to finding freedom is a testament to the power of curiosity and determination.
Welcome to It's the Power Life podcast with your host, Craig Mundell. Get ready to unlock the secrets of living a powerful life. It's the Power Life podcast. It's your weekly go-to resource for unlocking your inner strength and embracing a life of empowerment. This podcast is your compass for transformation. So buckle up and get ready to unlock the extraordinary power within you.
Welcome, Hayley, and thank you for joining me on It's the Power Life podcast today.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
So let's start off. You had a love for journalism. What motivated that love for journalism?
So from a very young age, I've always loved language and reading, and I had some incredible teachers who inspired me along the way. But what really motivated me was telling people stories. I love getting to know people and figuring out what makes them tick, but also what it is that they've overcome that makes their story so powerful.
That's brilliant. And then on that journey, what did you learn about yourself?
Well, for one, how much I love people, and also that the variety of journalism really appeals to me. I need a lot of different things going on and a lot of different inputs to kind of keep me on the go. But also that I put a lot of value in people and their connections, and I love being able to share stories to bring people together and to inspire them.
Wow. Okay. And then in terms of why we're here today, is that what triggered your journey to explore the personal development process?
My role at work was expanding, and there were a few things that I was looking for help with. So very practical things like time management and dealing with an increased list of responsibilities. And I'm also working across a few different entities. So there were a few very practical kind of management things that I was looking for help with.
Oh, brilliant. And what were your expectations before you started the journey?
So I thought it was going to be kind of like a very simple download. Like I'd come and ask you questions and you'd give me your professional answers, and then I could go off and have a kind of ABC of how to approach my new role.
And then, so what was your experience?
Completely different. It was so much more than that. I'm very glad it was so different because I could never have anticipated what it actually would end up being. It was far more personal, and I didn't actually come out with any of those practical timekeeping tips or anything like that, but I'm glad because the results I got were far more powerful. It was a lot more around my beliefs that I held and how those impacted my approach to work and to other aspects of my life, rather than dealing with those very practical things day to day.
So before you started the journey, how did you think about yourself?
So that's quite a difficult question, but I've always felt capable. I'm pretty independent, and I feel like I've achieved the things I've wanted to in my life. Obviously, I've had a few challenges along the way, but I generally make the most of any opportunity I get, and I'm happy with where I am.
Okay, and then on the journey that you were working on, what decision did you make that unlocked you on this journey?
So I think it was realizing that some of the areas where I was stuck the reason wasn't really those external things. It was the beliefs that I held or that I developed over my life that kept bringing me back to those same things. And as soon as I identified the lies that I was believing, it gave me so much power to overcome those things and to approach them in a different way.
Yeah. So when we journey on journeys like this, is that often we form beliefs when we're very young, and then we get down the road and we need to deal with something, but those beliefs are like 3 or 4 layers down. So we actually need to uncover them a bit before we actually get to them, and sometimes we don't even know that they're there. So what did you learn on this process about yourself?
So it was obviously quite challenging at times. Having to look at yourself always is. But it was so liberating, because one of the first things I realized was when I was really young, for whatever reason, I created this idea that I was not sporty and that I was not a runner. And I really didn't enjoy it. It didn't feel like I was creating that belief. It felt like really my body did not like running.
Who told you that?
I don't know. I don't have any recollection of where that came from, but I remember from young, I used to hate cross country. That was literally my worst thing at school. And throughout my life, people have said, "Oh, you look like a runner." I'm like, I'm definitely not a runner.
So out of those experiences, you formed a belief. And what was that belief?
Well, that I'm not a runner, that I'm not sporty, and that there's no point trying because I can't do it.
And how did that impact your life?
Well, I mean, just health-wise, I've always been pretty active, but running's such an accessible thing, and it's such an amazing way to get into beautiful places. But I've just never even considered it.
Okay, and then in terms of just exploring, what mind shift or what shifted in your mindset on the journey?
Well, I realized that there was a lot of things that I'd been kind of shutting down, or areas where I wasn't exploring the potential that I have, because I'd already made up my mind that it wasn't something that was for me. And when I realized that actually all you need is to realize the truth, and then those things are all within your reach. And I mean, I might not, I don't think I'm going to become the next kind of marathon winner, but I am now a runner, and I started running in April, and I actually love it. So it was obviously difficult to start with, but once you've got the right attitude, it's much easier to approach.
Yeah. No, that's brilliant. And then, so through the process, you're not a runner, you explore the journey of why you're not a runner, and now you have started experiencing running. So how does that change the way you see yourself now?
Well, it's really far-reaching, because that's just one example, but it's something where I've had this firm belief for my entire life. And in a matter of 6 months, I've identified the lie that I've been believing. And by exploring that a bit more, whereas actually there's a lot of potential there, and it's created a lot more, well, it's added a lot more joy to my life. And I mean, we all need more joy. So
absolutely.
If I can find other areas, I'm going to look into those as well.
Absolutely. And how does it make you feel now?
Well, I mean, it's so exciting. I mean, I've always, like I was saying before, I've always felt like I've kind of achieved in life, but now I feel like I'm at the start of a new chapter, and actually I don't know what is in store, but it's very exciting to think that there are other areas where I can also explore and find new areas of enjoyment and achieve in those areas as well.
Brilliant. And just to help people, so before you started this process, okay, it felt probably a little bit overwhelming in some ways. And now you've gone through the process, and in going through the process, I mean, you need to own it. You know, people can't do it for you. But you've gone through the process and you've experienced the fruit from the process, okay? So how does it make you feel now facing life and other possible obstacles that come your way?
Well, I just feel like I have so much more freedom.
Yeah.
It really is. It's so liberating to know that you have the power, that it's not, I mean, nothing in my external circumstances has changed, but I feel physically and mentally different.
That's stunning.
It's been the most incredibly powerful process. And it was challenging, but it's not like it was months and months, or it was totally worth it.
So what would you say to people who are in a place that are feeling stuck and they need to explore what is holding them back, and they need a little bit of encouragement or they need a little bit of guidance? What would you say to them?
I think, first of all, just be open to the process, because the results are there, and also just be curious, because one of the things I've realized is there's so much behind the way we behave. I think a lot of us assume that the way life is just the way it is, and we just got to deal with it. But actually, there are such powerful tools and small shifts that you can make that can transform your life.
Brilliant. And just wrapping up, what would you say is the most valuable thing you got out of this journey?
Well, freedom. It's really, it's hard to quantify, but it's been a physical and mental shift for me. And it's been the most amazing experience of my life.
Now, I remember after we spent some time together, and the first time we chatted after that, I remember how free you were feeling, and how it impacted your life. Just explain that a little bit.
So it's a weird thing, because it's one of those things where you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
So I would never have described myself as being trapped or captive, or the opposite of free. Yeah. And I don't think it's not like I was trapped. Yeah. But the level of freedom that I've got now is it's so different, and it impacts every aspect of my life.
And that you're speaking from an internal perspective.
Yes, very much so.
And then how much of your external life has changed? Obviously you're running and that type of thing, but a lot of the things in life, how much of that has actually changed?
So the actual, if you had to list it, not much has changed. Yeah. I'm still in the same job. I still have the same people around me, and that stuff is all good. Yeah. But it's my attitude that's changed, and the potential that just seems to have massively grown.
So you basically, a lot of the environments are still the same environments, but you have changed. Okay. And how does that impact the way you see those environments now?
Very differently. One of the things that has amazed me the most is that obviously my attitude's different, but actually things do look different, which might seem completely crazy, but it has that level of impact. Yeah.
Well, exactly what you're saying there is you see life through the state of your heart. So if the state of your heart's not in a good place, that's the glasses you're wearing. And if you go through a journey where you find some freedom, or you find something that's blocking your life and you deal with it, well, it's going to impact your heart. So it's going to impact your vision. And I think it's very encouraging for people, because sometimes when you start these journeys, we think they're huge. And actually, you know what? It's marginal change that has the massive impact. And because people need to know that, otherwise they feel overwhelmed and discouraged. And you went on the journey and you found a belief that you had that I'm not a runner, and you didn't even know it was there. And then you went through the journey, even exploring, didn't know if you were going to run, and you started running and you loved it. And the power that it makes you feel, it's like you've taken the power back of your life, where in the past you'd given the power away of your life to someone else's opinion. And even you said earlier that you don't know where that statement actually was formed from an experience. You just, people said you're athletic, and you're like, no, I'm not. And actually, I hate cross country, so I'm going to form a belief I'm not a runner, and that belief's been in place for 20, 30 years. How powerful such a simple, small thing, first of all, holds you captive. And secondly, how powerful such a simple, small thing makes you feel free when you deal with it.
Very much so. And it was, throughout the process, I was amazed how simple things seemed. Yeah. So they've had a massive impact, but during the process, I kept thinking, I can't believe I haven't realized this before. But it was through the process and the various steps that we took that I could actually see those things.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for me, even just walking with people in their lives, is that often it astounds me that how such a simple thing has such massive impact on people's lives, because we often think massive impact means massive change. That's not always true. In fact, most of the time it's not. It's just marginal change normally has massive impact. And yeah, it's just an encouragement. Yeah. Anything else you'd like to add in wrapping up, Hayley?
No, I just think if anyone's considering this or has the opportunity to engage in this process, I'd highly recommend it. I almost wish everyone could just do it, because I think a lot of people don't realize where they are blocked.
Absolutely.
And how much potential they have for growth and happiness and all those good things that we all want.
Yeah. And I can just start off with a question, where am I feeling trapped, or where am I feeling blocked, or where am I feeling captive at the moment, and just start exploring it and saying, well, what if I could get free, or what if I could do that thing? It could have a massive impact in your life. But the key is you taking the power back of your life. You're not giving it away to people's opinions, circumstances, experiences, and all those things have massive impact on our lives. But we want to be leading our lives, not the experience or the circumstance or society. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for joining me today. It was really inspiring for me, and I've loved watching the journey.
Thank you so much. It has been amazing. Thanks, Craig.
Pleasure. Absolute pleasure. So what can we learn from Hayley's story? What of her story are you telling yourself that is holding you captive? What part of your story that you tell yourself do you need to change? Does the personal transformation journey interest you? If so, I'm excited to share with you the launch of It's the Power Life Membership Academy. It's not just a program. It's a community of like-minded individuals committed to growth and empowerment. Let's unlock our potential and shape our destinies together. Enroll now at It's the Power Life Membership Academy, and let's start your journey of transformation. Thank you for joining us today. Subscribe and stay connected for more inspiring conversation and insights that will empower you to lead a life filled with purpose, authenticity, and the undeniable power of choice. Until next time, embrace the power within you and pursue authenticity.
And that concludes another powerful episode of It's the Power Life Podcast, hosted by Craig Mundell. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed today's show, we'd be grateful if you'd leave us a review and share this podcast with others who are ready to embrace their own power. Until next time, remember to live with intention, embrace challenges as opportunities, and always strive for greatness.